But coaching is my passion now. I love to coach. I love to work with young people, and I love to see student athletes reach their potential. And so many of those things that I told you in that story I learned by playing. You know, putting your head down, leaving the last play behind, and being able to work together. I think the biggest thing with our beach volleyball program, and you guys will have an opportunity to ask Audrey and Nick, is the culture that we have on the team. And a big thing for me is really empowering the team. You know, I have people in my office, players all the time. I tell them, I don't really create the starting lineup, you guys do. You know, if they're doing the work and they're successful and they're executing, they're going to be playing. I like the players to make decisions. You know, you guys get to pick your gear, you know, everything down to this is our national championship ring. I let the players design it. You know, the more that you can involve players in whatever organization it is that you are in, the easier it is, because there's that ownership. And the more ownership I can give them, I mean, like, it's a stretch. And it's a tribute to the twins. They're dying. We're missing practice right now. So, and they don't like to miss practice. You know, I can tell you. And I've tried to get players on this team that love working together, that have the same values, have the same attitudes, have the same objectives, and so that we're all focused. Of course, we have our own lives, but when we walk through those gates over at Merle Norman Stadium and it's time to, you know, take the gloves off, and you're only as good as your teammates make you. And we really try to push the limit. But to get a little more insight, I think the best thing is to bring the two girls up here, and that is the two young ladies, sorry, and student athletes. That's Nicole Nourse and Audrey Nourse. And give them a hand. Two-time national champions here at USC. You guys want to come a little closer here? And I know they wanted to say a few words to start, and then we'll open it up for you guys to ask any questions.
Yeah, hi everyone. It's really great being here and representing USC Beach Volleyball and being able to share with you guys a little bit about our experiences as USC student athletes. And you know, it's definitely not easy. There's a lot of sacrifices that we make, just living the lifestyle that we do. But ultimately, it's been the most rewarding experience for me, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Ultimately, I would say it's taught us, both me and my sister, how to be strong leaders, develop strong work ethic, and ultimately become amazing teammates for all the girls on our team. And I would say my biggest takeaway, beyond all the soft skills that I've learned, is just the privilege of being a part of something bigger than myself. And you know, Dain brought it up, and we didn't plan this. He brought it up that his goal is to ultimately make us the best versions of ourselves, and it is really true. Every day, you know, what he's trying to do for us, his purpose is to help us maximize our potential, not only as athletes, but also as people, and it's something that I'm very grateful for. And, you know, not only that, but I'm just so grateful for my entire Trojan family, and it's truly been the experience of a lifetime, and it's ultimately set me up for all of my future endeavors, and my sister can touch a little bit more on that. Hey everyone, first off, sorry for keeping you here for too long, but it's true, and I'm sure that, you know, a lot of you are here because the Trojan family is really that strong. I feel it every single day, especially within our program, and it's honestly attributed to our culture that we've built. And it's been phenomenal for Audrey and I to be with Dain since his tenure started as head coach, because we've been able to help and assist in building the culture that we want. And it is truly a culture that emulates the rest of the athletic department and this school. You know, as players, we always talk about it. Our program really understands what it means to have USC on our chests. It really understands what it means to represent this school. It's a very, very special privilege, and it's truly an honor. And you know, we just want to relay that to you today. And it's the culture that we've built is one that is built on hard work. It's built on discipline. It's built on integrity and accountability. It's built on faith and ambition. And it's something that we get to experience every single day, and I really don't want it to end. That's why my sister and I are returning here for our 5th year, and it's so interesting. Yeah, we're proud for that, returning. It's so interesting because the beach community is really small, and we'll train with a lot of players from other schools, and I love that about beach volleyball. But you know, when I ask them, they're always wondering what they're going to do for their 5th year. Whether most of them are thinking, "Oh, I got to leave." That was never even a thought in my mind, and I think that just goes to show the power of just being able to go to USC. So yeah, I didn't want to take up too much of her time, but I did want to extend my gratitude to Dain, to the entire USC faculty and staff, to Mike Bone. Wow. Seriously, best hire ever. He has been amazing for student athletes. I can confidently say that. Thank you to Carol Folt, and then also to wonderful and empowering organizations like this one. We wouldn't be able to be the program that we are today without you guys, so thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dain and Audrey and Nicole. Now we will entertain some questions if you have any questions for the coach or the girls.
I just wanted to add that before we get to the questions, I just got out of a staff meeting today, and I'm not going to tell you who has what, but once again, one of them has a 4.0 and the other has like a 3.95, and they have led this team, and I don't even know which is which. I'm sure they do, but they always lead our team, and I'm really proud to say that last semester we had the highest team GPA since they've been tracking GPA for teams. It's because of these two that lead the charge every time. And then I'm glad you mentioned Mike Bone, because such a huge supporter, and Carol Folt, President Folt. But Mike Bone, I mean, he's dead on when he says he wants this institution to be the most student athlete centered program in the country, and that's why he won 80 of the year, because it's working, and it makes our compass as coaches very easy. If it's good for the student athlete, we do it, and if it's not, we usually don't.
Hi, Sandy Johnston. It was wonderful to hear about some of your historic athletes that you were talking about competing with, Karch Kurai and Sinton Smith, Randy Stokely, Randy Fishburne. It was wonderful. Some people at our table wanted to hear a little bit about where the girls grew up at high school, and they also wanted to hear about you and recruiting for USC.
So we're from Orange County. We grew up in Newport Beach and started playing volleyball when we were around 9 or 10. And in terms of the recruiting process, my sister and I were pretty unique. We were always sort of a package deal, and that's how we related to our that's how we related to our coaches. And we did have an interesting recruiting process. For the majority of high school, we were recruited to Stanford, and you know, I think it's every little kid's dream to go to Stanford. That was definitely Our top two was always USC, Stanford, and at the end of the day, we leaned on our parents, got a lot of advice from them, and ultimately saw that USC was the best fit for us. And so it is a decision that I am probably one of the bigger decisions of my life, and it's one that I am so, so grateful for, because coming here has truly set me up for life. And again, I credit that to my Trojan family. Sure. Just to add on, and I think Dain can speak to this as well, when it comes to recruiting, we aren't just looking for good players. We're not just looking at skill. We're really looking for good individuals. Ultimately, we've learned that that's what creates a lasting and strong culture and a lasting legacy that the players can build upon. So we're trying to not only recruit the best athletes in the country, but also the most hardworking, and just overall the athletes that have the best character as well.
Yeah, I think it's so important. My predecessor, Anna Collier, used to recruit a lot in Southern California. The game has grown so much that there's players all over the country now. So I'd say the hotbeds for beach volleyball would be Southern California, Texas, and Florida. And so we have quite a few players now coming from those areas. But as was just mentioned, you've got to find the good quality individuals that are going to fit into the culture. And that doesn't mean the best player always, but I think the people, the players that have more grit and want to work hard and that can be shaped into really strong competitors is what it's all about. Because when someone comes in, I say, what are your goals? Do you want to just play at college and be done, which is totally fine? Do you want to go on to play in the Olympics? Or professionally, or do you want to go on to the Olympics? And we've had spectacular players who walk out of here and they'll probably never play volleyball again. But the number one goal for the program is to create great representatives of this university and really expand the family. And it's so important that they learn how to handle themselves. And I'm really proud to see last year's class, what they've gone and done. I mean, Tina Gradina, who got 4th in the Olympics for Latvia, she's gone out and won tournaments, handled herself well. Haley Harward, Julia Scholes, all of those players, I would not hesitate, just like almost every player on the team, if there was an opportunity to go represent the team, I have confidence that they could go and do that in a professional way. And I think that's what it's all about.
Nina Hoffman, thank you, Coach. Great stories. Wonderful to be here with you guys today. So, how did you end up at USC? You didn't tell us that story. How did that happen?
Like the twins were saying, we didn't want to take too much time, right? But I'll tell you the story. I got a phone call. I remember I was at the Four Seasons in Palo Alto, and Anna Collier called. And Anna was a coach of Jenny Johnson and Annette Davis in the 2000 game. So that 2000 game, she was coaching one of the women's teams. So I'd known her for a long time, but she called and she said, hey, do you want to coach collegiate women's volleyball? And I was like, oh, I haven't been following it that much. And she's like, it's going to become an NCAA sport in a few years. And this was in 2015. So I came over, I met the players. At the time, it was Sarah Hughes and Kelly Clays, which is now Kelly Chang. And I met the players, and they were so enthusiastic that I said, yeah, I'll be the volunteer assistant, and that was in 2015. So we went undefeated in 2015. 2016 was the first national championship, and they were dead set on making sure they won that. So won in 2016, then repeated in 2017, or three-peated, and then 18 after I was here for 4 years as a volunteer assistant. So, but it was nice. We were dominating. We were winning. I could also do my broadcast stuff. and then I left, and I actually broadcast the beach national championship in 2019 for ESPN. And then that summer, Anna Collier decided to move on from here, and the job opened up, and I didn't think it would, because she was supposed to finish, I thought, when you guys finished, right? She had told you that, so I don't know all the inner workings, but anyways, this was a coveted job. I mean, I think I have the best job in volleyball, to be honest with you. But I remember I was working, I put my resume in, I got a call back from Steve Lopes, and Steve's wife's here, Helen Lopes, and I remember I was going to Europe, and sorry I'm so long-winded, this is why we didn't tell these stories, right? So I'm going to Europe for the World Championships to broadcast. I put my resume in. I'm hoping they don't call me. They call me the first week, and I'm like, I'm not going to be back until next week. And they're like, at the time, Lynn Swan was the AD, and he was getting ready to go on vacation. And they said, so Tuesday's okay. You're coming back Tuesday. When do you land? And I said, I flew from Germany, and got to LAX, I think it was 6 in the afternoon, Ubered straight to Heritage Hall to interview for over an hour with my roller and everything. And, but then it took about a month because they really wanted someone who was a head coach. And I was like, I can't be a head coach until someone takes a chance on me. And so we went back and forth, and luckily, they finally chose me, and that's the story I'm sticking to.
We have time for one more, Debbie. Is there one more question? We have time for one more.
Oh, this is for the Nourse young ladies. Besides your activities with athletics, are you involved in sororities or clubs on campus?
Yes, we are, which has been really, really amazing to really just build our network outside of athletics. We're a part of Kappa Alpha Theta sorority. If there are any Thetas here, you can applaud for that. But we are also no longer involved, but for 3 years I was heavily involved in Trojan Athletic Senate, which is our student-athlete governing body here at USC within the athletic department. I served as the co-president of that last year. And then in the August of 2021, my sister and I had the privilege with 2 other non-student athletes here to co-found a 501c3 nonprofit media company that basically serves as a platform for USC student athletes to share their stories. And the idea behind that is this. You know, a lot of the lives of student athletes, people don't really understand what it takes and what student athletes really go through. There's so much that happens beneath the surface, and a lot of times we look like these larger-than-life figures that can take on everything, but we're really not. So it's a way for student athletes to kind of champion that vulnerable side of themselves and pass on experiences that can also help other people who are looking up to them, who plan on pursuing a similar path, career path, sport.